I'll give the average selling price of a circulated coin. These are all commemorative coins you might find in your change. So no Shields or Britannias. There's 74 of them, so let's go. Oh, and they're in no particular order. First up is Olympic boxing. All the Olympic 50p coins were minted to celebrate the 2012 London Olympics. They were released and dated the year before in 2011. This one is by Shane Avery. Just over 2 million were minted. You could pick one up from eBay for around £2. Next we have Jemima Puddle Duck. This is from the Beatrix Potter series. This one is from 2016. This was designed by Emma Noble, and even though again just over 2 million, this one is very collectible and selling for around £9. This is Olympic Badminton by Emma Kelly. Just over 2.1 million were minted and it's valued around £2. Now we have WWF. Originally this stood for World Wildlife Fund, but now it stands for Worldwide Fund for Nature. Designed by artist Matthew Dent, 3.4 million of this one were minted, but it's a very popular coin and selling for around £3. The first of the Paddington Bear 50p. Paddington at the station, and that's King's Cross Station there. Designed by artist David Napton, just over 5 million of this one were minted. Paddingtons are very collectible and it's selling for around 4 times face value at £2. And yeah, I know it's Paddington Station really. Now it's Sherlock Holmes. This coin by artist Stephen Raw marks the 160th anniversary of the birth of author Arthur Conan Doyle. I think this is a nice design, but it was massively minted at 8.6 million, so it's only ever going to be worth 50p. And now we have Flopsy Bunny. Dated 2018, this is one of the lower minted Beatrix Potter coins. Just 1.4 million of this one were produced, so it's very sought after and selling for around £8. Next we have Olympic Athletics, dated 2011 and was designed by Florence Jackson. If you find an Athletics 50p dated 2009, it's going to be worth over £100, but the standard 2011 version is only going to be worth about £2. The next one is to mark the 100th anniversary of the Representation of the People Act. I like this design by Stephen Taylor, but this one is very highly minted at 9 million, so it's only going to be worth 50p. Now, Olympic Hockey by Robert Evans. Hockey has a mintage figure of 1.7 million. Hockey 50p is selling for around £2.50. Next we have Olympic Tennis. This one by Tracy Baines has one of the lower mintage figures of 1.4 million. And is selling for around £3.50. Remember, if you're buying or selling these coins on eBay, for example, please take into consideration fees and postage costs. And now it's Roger Bannister. This 50p, designed by James Butler, marks 50 years since athlete Roger Bannister ran 1 mile in under 4 minutes. He did that in 1954, hence this coin is dated 2004. Very highly minted coin again, over 9 million, so only worth 50p. There were some restrikes of 50p coins in 2019 to commemorate 50 years of the 50p. Roger Bannister was one of them, but I won't be including them in this video because this is all about circulating coins. Next we have Olympic football. This design by Neil Wolfson explains the offside rule. A quick glance at this coin and you'll understand how offside works. Honestly, just 1.1 million of this one were minted and it's the lowest minted of the Olympic coins, and you can expect to pay about £15 for one of these. And the next please, and here we have Olympic boccia. Boccia rhymes with gotcha, as Bungle would say. This one was designed by Justin Chung. Just over 2 million were minted, and you could pick this one up for around £2. Now we have the 50th anniversary of the NHS. This coin, designed by David Cornell, was released in 1998. Quite sought after, this one, and although over 5 million were minted, I'd value this at about £1.75 in circulated condition. And now we have Olympic shooting. Designed by Pravin Dudri, 1.6 million of this one were minted, and its average selling price is around £3.50. Here's Peter Rabbit from 2016. A massive 9.7 million were minted, but because it's a Beatrix Potter, it's very collectible and worth around £1.50. And now we have Victoria Cross Heroic Acts. Designed by Clive Duncan and released in 2006, it has a mintage figure of over 10 million, so only going to be worth face value 50 pence. And now we have the Brexit coin, marking Great Britain's withdrawal from the European Union. It just says designed by the Royal Mint engraving team. No one wants to own up to that. I think my cat could have come up with a better design than that. Over 10 million minted, so it's only going to be worth 50p. Another Beatrix Potter design by Emma Noble. This time it's Miss Tiggywinkle.
Mrs. Tiggywinkle.
Mrs. Tiggywinkle, yeah. Again, very highly minted. This one, 8.8 million, so it's selling for around 75 pence. And now we have Olympic fencing, or stabby sticks. This was designed by Ruth Summerfield. 2.1 million of these ones were minted, so I would say around £2 for this. And now we have Kew Gardens. Just 210,000 of these were released into circulation. Designed by Christopher Lebrun, and it's very sought after, this one. Now, about 3 years ago, you probably would have had to pay between £180 and £200 for one of these, but now you can pick one up on eBay for around £150. But beware of fakes. The Votes for Women 50 pence, or suffragettes. I think this is a fantastic design by Mary Milner Dickens. Over 3 million were minted, but a very collectible coin and selling for around £3.50. Now we've got Olympic Aquatics by Jonathan Oliff. Just over 2,100,000 of these ones were minted and its value is around £2. But look out for one with Jonathan Oliff's original design with lines on the swimmer's face. It's estimated only 600 of these were minted and there could be some still out there somewhere. If you find one, it's going to be worth around £1,000. Right, Olympic Volleyball. This one was designed by Daniela Boothman and has a mintage figure of 2.1 million and is selling for around £2. This is my favourite design of the Olympic 50p's. And now we have the Queen's Memorial 50p coin. This design by Edgar Fuller and Cecil Thomas originally appeared on the 1953 commemorative crown released for Queen Elizabeth II's coronation. The only difference is the year. Originally it was 1953 and this one is 2022. 9.6 million were minted, so only 50 pence for this face value. Next we have the Benjamin Britten 50 pence coin designed by Tom Phillips. From 2013, this commemorates the centenary of composer Benjamin Britten. Although over 5 million were minted, this one is quite popular and is selling for around £1.50. The next 50 pence coin commemorates 150 years since the birth of author Beatrix Potter. Another Emma Noble design, and nearly 7 million of this one were minted, but it is a Potter, so it's selling for around £1.50. And now I've got another Paddington coin, this time Paddington at the Tower of London. Over 9 million of this one were produced, so only 50 pence. This one is Victoria Cross, the medals, or as some like to say, the awards. It commemorates the 150th anniversary of the Victoria Cross. I think this is a very nice design by Claire Aldridge, but over 12 million were produced, so it's only going to be worth, again, 50 pence. And now we come to Olympic archery. This is the highest minted of the Olympic 50 pence coins at 3,345,500. This one was designed by Peter Poaga, and if you can't find one in your change, you could get one for around £1.75. And now the Battle of Britain 50 pence. A few different versions of this one have been produced, but only one for circulation, and 5.9 million of those were produced. Designed by Gary Breeze, quite collectible and selling for around £1.50. This is Olympic basketball, designed by Sarah Payne. 1.7 million of this one were put into circulation and is selling for around £2. This is canoeing by Timothy Lees. Over 2 million of these were made and it's selling for about £1.75. Scouts. This one dates from 2007 and commemorates 100 years of the Scouting movement. It's by designer Kerry Jones and 7.7 million were made. It is quite collectible, this one, but because of the high mintage, you should be able to pick one up for around £1. And now Paddington Bear at Buckingham Palace. Again by David Napton. 5.9 million of this one were minted, but Paddington is quite popular, so this one is selling for around £2. Now we have Diversity Built Britain. Not one of my favourite designs. 10.3 million, so it's only going to be worth face value of 50 pence. Here comes a run-in Peter Rabbit. Now, even though this one is a Beatrix Potter, nearly 20 million were minted, so it's only going to be worth 50 pence. The next one is Wheelchair Rugby, designed by Natasha Ratcliffe. 1,765,500 of these were minted. I quite like this design, and its average selling price is about £3. It's Isaac Newton. This 50 pence by Aaron West marks the 375th anniversary since the birth of scientist Isaac Newton. Lots of people's favourite 50 pence coin, this one. It represents some of Newton's astronomical calculations. You can see the sun at the centre there and the ellipses of the planets going round it. Over 1.8 million were minted, but it is a very popular coin, so it's going to be valued about £3. Now, another Paddington Bear coin. This one is Paddington at St Paul's Cathedral, but it is very highly minted at over 9 million, so again it's only going to be worth face value 50 pence. Now this one is the Tailor of Gloucester, or Tog on the Bog for obvious reasons. 3.9 million of these were minted, and as it's a Beatrix Potter design, I would say about £1.75. And here comes table tennis. This is one of 5 of the Olympic coins to have the Para-Olympic logo at the top of the coin. The other 4 are wheelchair rugby, goalball, archery and boccia. This design is by Alan Linsdell. Just over 1.7 million were minted, and it's selling for around £2.50. Another Olympic coin, this time it's pentathlon, or modern pentathlon as it's correctly called. This one is designed by Daniel Britton. Just under 1.7 million were produced, and it's selling for around £3.75. The Dictionary 50 pence coin. This was released in 2005 to commemorate the 250th anniversary of the publication of Samuel Johnson's dictionary. It was designed by Tom Phillips. It has a massive mintage figure of over 17.5 million. It's very easy to find this one in your change, so it's only valued at 50p. Another Olympic coin here, and another one designed by Jonathan Olive. This time it's Olympic gymnastics. 1,600,000 were minted, and it has an average selling price of £2.25. It's another Beatrix Potter. This time it's Mrs. Tittlemouse. Again designed by Emma Noble, and 1.7 million were minted, and as it's a Beatrix Potter it's very popular and averaging £4. Pride. This one was designed by Dominic Holmes. 5 million were put into circulation, so it's only worth 50 pence. The Queen's Platinum Jubilee 50 pence coin, commemorating Queen Elizabeth II's 70 years as monarch. This was designed by Andrew Ross and Deborah Osborne. 5,070,000, see what I did there, were put into circulation, and it's quite a high mintage figure, so it's only going to be worth 50 pence. Another Olympic 50 pence coin, this time it's Olympic rowing. This is by graphic designer David Podmore, and it says on there, excellence, friendship, fair play and respect. 1.7 million were minted, and expect to pay around £2 for this one. And another Olympic coin, this time it's weightlifting. It was designed by Rob Shakespeare. It's probably a little bit too basic for a coin design for my liking, but over 1.8 million were minted, and it is selling for an average price of £2.25. Now it's Beatrix Potter's Jeremy Fisher, or Mr. Jeremy Fisher I should say. This has a circulating figure of nearly 10 million, so it's only worth 50 pence. EU Stars. This 50 pence, released in 1998, commemorates Britain's 25 years in the EEC, the European Economic Community. It was designed by John Mills. Just over 5 million were minted, and it's worth about £1. Olympic wrestling. This is one of the harder to find Olympic 50 pences. Only 1.1 million were minted. What? He wasn't an Olympic wrestler? Designed by Roderick Enriquez, the average selling price of this one is £8. And now we have the Christopher Ironside 50 pence. Released in 2013, this coin commemorates the centenary of coin engraver Christopher Ironside. Christopher's designs were on all of the original reverses of the UK decimal coins. Although 7 million were minted, it's a very popular design and averaging £1. the Battle of Hastings. This coin commemorates the 950 years since the famous battle. It's by designer John Bergdahl. 6.7 million were minted. If you can't find one in your change, expect to pay £1 for this one. Olympic Equestrian. 2.1 million of this one were circulated. It's designed by Thomas Babbage and its average selling price is £2. The next one is Olympic Judo, designed by David Cornell. Very hard to find in your change, this one, as only 1.1 million were minted, hence the selling price of £11. Now we have goalball. Goalball is a Paralympic sport, and you can see the Paralympic logo at the top of the coin again. 1.6 million were minted. It was designed by Jonathan Wren, and the average selling price is £2. Now we have King Charles III's coronation 50 pence. It was designed by Natasha Jenkins. Although 5 million were put into circulation, it's still selling for around £2. What's next? It's Olympic Taekwondo. It's a very popular design, this one, by David Gibbons. Just over 1,600,000 were produced and has an average selling price of £3. And now, here's the Commonwealth Games 50 pence. This was minted to mark the 20th Commonwealth Games, which was held in Glasgow, Scotland, and it was designed by Alex Loudon. 6.5 million were minted, so it's only going to be, again, 50 pence face value. Okay, what's this one? It's triathlon, Olympic triathlon. This design was by Sarah Harvey, and only just over 1.1 million were minted, and the average selling price is £12. So that's one of the scarcer ones to look out for. Next one is Team GB. This was minted to mark Great Britain's participation in the 2016 Olympics, which was held in Rio, wasn't it? Yeah, Rio de Janeiro. Nearly forgot where it was then. The designer is Peter Blake. But this coin has a mintage figure of over 6 million, so it's only going to be worth 50 pence. Squirrel Nutkin now. Quite highly minted at 5 million, but because it's a Potter, I'd say £1 for this one. Okay, we have public libraries. This 50 pence, minted in 2000, commemorates 150 years since the 1850 Public Library Act. It was designed by Mary Milner Dickens and has a mintage figure of over 11 million, so it's only going to be worth face value 50 pence. Another Beatrix Potter by Emma Noble, Tom Kitten this time. 9.5 million were produced, but because it's a Potter, just over face value 75 pence. Look at his eyes, they're really scary, aren't they? Oh my god! Another Beatrix Potter, this time it's Peter Rabbit 2018. This is a much lower minted coin, just 1,400,000 were produced. Much harder to find in your change, and to buy one you'd have to pay around £6 for this. If you're watching this far and you haven't subscribed yet, please hit that subscribe button, it would be really appreciated. Thank you. I've seen this coin listed on eBay as basketball, but it's not, it's handball as it says there. Designed by Natasha Ratcliffe, nearly 1.7 million were minted and its selling price is around £3.50. This is Girl Guiding. Minted in 2010, celebrating 100 years of girl guiding in the UK. It was designed by Jonathan Evans and Donna Haynen, but I can't find a picture of either of those. It was highly minted at over 7 million, but it is a popular coin and selling for around 75 pence. Yes, Olympic Sailing. This is one of my favourite designs on the 50p coin. This is by artist Bruce Rushin. Just over 1,700,000 were minted and £2.50 is the average selling price for this coin. And here's Benjamin Bunny. This is another Beatrix Potter coin, but it's massively minted at 25 million. This makes it the highest minted commemorative 50 pence coin. So even though this is a Beatrix Potter 50 pence, it's only going to be worth 50 pence face value. And another Olympic. This time it's Olympic Cycling. This one was designed by Theo Crutchley Mack and just over 2 million were produced, and this one has a selling price of £1.50. Okay, lastly we have the Atlantic Salmon. We don't have a designer for this, it just says Royal Mint Design Team. Now this isn't a commemorative, this is a definitive. This is going to be the standard design of the reverse of the 50 pence coin. Dated 2023, just 200,000 were put into circulation, which makes it the lowest minted circulating 50 pence coin and is selling for around £100. But make sure on the obverse there is no crown privy mark at the back of the king's neck. If there is a privy mark like this, it means it came from a collector's set, and this was not meant for circulation. It's still selling for around £40, but not as much as the one without the privy mark. And as yet, no 2024 or 2025 commemorative 50p's have been released into circulation. Okay, that's it. Thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next video.